we see you here for this A.U.K. Tech Fair, organized by the A.U.K. Tech Hub. I must say that this is the first event in this field of information technology which is being organized by the students of A.U.K. It is a complete A.U.K. students event. So everything was organized from the flyers up to the showcases, up to the project stands, up to the Firefox release party. Everything is organized by the A.U.K. Tech Hub. We have an honor here to have our special guests that we have invited to talk about the information and communication technologies. We will discuss where is Kosovo in the field of ICT, where should we be heading, and for this I am honored to have the guests here. I'm going to start by Mr. Visar Dobroshi, who is the head of state. Then Driton Hapsiu, which comes from Cactus. And Dr. Darim Reza, which comes from the University of Pristina. Now, Dr. Reza will hold a brief presentation, and just right out of this presentation, we will be discussing about the ICT development here in Kosovo and in the region. Thank you. So, Mr. Reza, please come ahead.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Darim Reza. I'm professor at the University of Pristina, Faculty of Electrical and Computer Engineering in the Computer Department. My presentation today is an introductory course about the topics that we're going to discuss today. A small introduction of ICT sector in Kosovo, sector policy and legislation, education and workforce potential, current initiatives and future steps, and a slide about the conclusion of my presentation. This will we will use this as introductory to the topics we'll be discussed later on. Regarding the ICT sector, Kosovo currently are four assessments done till now. The first one done by USA in 2007. The second, a national background report on ICT research possibility for Kosovo done by Western Balkan countries organization, founded by the European Commission in 2009. And ICT Kosovo sector decoded by, also supported by USA by I3C Consulting in 2010. And the latest one from State Business Catalog, just for the companies in the ICT sector in Kosovo. I think these are four main resources regarding the ICT sector in Kosovo. Assessment done by USA in 2007 says that IT sector is mainly comprised by software developing and hardware sale and communication. The IT sector has about 50 million annual revenues, and 30% of these goes to the services and 70% hardware resale. I think this will be another question: why the 70% on hardware resale, not on the software and not on the services? Regarding the companies, employees in the company, most of the companies are small and medium-sized companies, consisting 77% are companies that employ 1 to 20 employees. More than 10, 21 and 50 employees are 10% companies, and so on. The salaries, you have here in a graph taken from the ITCU Consulting. Junior staff salaries are from 300 to 500 and 550 to 800 are labor costs in Kosovo. These are still a little bit higher than our neighbor countries like Macedonia, Serbia, Montenegro, etc. In the communication sector, we have three main internet service providers: Vitesa, A.U.K, and PTK. In fact, the Telecommunication Regulation Authority has issued 10 licenses till now. The 200 million revenues of these three communication ICPs were 160 million, as you probably may know, our revenues coming from PTK. Prices for broadband internet services varies depending from the provider, from 8 to 45, and depending from the bandwidth, from 8 euros to 45 euros per month. In fact, the common from all these three biggest ISPs in Kosovo, that all of them are pushing these three-play services such as voice, data, and video. Small graph about internet penetration. In fact, the data from 2008, this might be better now, but the world graphs taken from world stats. I hope in 2010 or 2011 will be a little bit better, but Kosovo stands just before Albania and behind all other neighbor countries. And still we are lacking behind of the European Union average internet penetration. Regarding the mobile subscribers, this is also data from 2008 taken from former Ministry of Telecommunication. Also here we stand behind our neighbor countries. Regarding the ICT sector policy, the main directives coming from to promote the market entry, promote competition, to achieve universal access. In fact, the idea is to bring more efficient and transparent governance, to make consumer protection, deployment of new modern technologies to meet the user needs. What is doing the government in this sense? The new draft regulation on the areas of administrative responsible to the Office of Prime Minister and Ministers regulates this in 3 ministries, in the Ministry of Economical Development, Ministry of Infrastructure, the former Ministry of Telecommunication, and the Ministry of Public Administration. I saw this draft regulation, and the tendencies are that all sector policies should be regulated by the Ministry of Economic Development, which I think will have as a unique ministry to discuss and to decide about the sector policies. Regarding the legal framework, Kosovo, I think, has enough laws that regulates the whole sector, starting from the Comprehensive Telecom Law, approved in 2003, that regulates the telecommunication market, and also the Telecommunication Regulation Authority is now outcomes. We have Law of Information Society Services from 2006, which regulates, among others, the e-commerce, e-signatures, etc. That, for example, e-signature might be have the same value and validity as the formal handwritten signature. Furthermore, data protection and privacy law, intellectual property rights law, law on cybercrime was drafted since 1.5 years, but because of previous election, is still on the parliament, not approved yet. In 2009, the government approved the electronic government strategy, which is now in force, and the government is running all its services by this strategy. What we are doing in the education sector, in which faculties, universities is taught about ICT. First of all, mainly the University of Pristina, more in the Faculty of Computer and Electrical Engineering. We have started from bachelor and master level. We hope to start a PhD program from 2011-2012. And also that we have computer science, computer engineering, the Faculty of Engineering, computer science, and Faculty of Mathematical Natural Science. We offer only the bachelor level of education. Other opportunities regarding the ICT are the University A.U.K and Reinvest, computer science, just for bachelor level, and University for Business and Technology, computer science, engineering for bachelor level. These are the 3 main universities where the ICT knowledge can be gained. Regarding using ICT in education, I put here Albanian sentence. Maybe I hope that most of us here are Albanians. Not, this is an Albanian sentence, bëj si themon, mos bëj si bëjon. Try maybe to translate this in English, do as I said, do not do as I do, or similar, okay? I think this must be changed. Usually the older professors saying you should use ICT, but they are not using, they're not making good examples. So I think this should changing, and using ICT should start in education sector, starting from professors, starting from teachers. They should require that people, students, and their colleagues should use ICT. How we should change it? Starting from communication, through emails, not through paper form, etc. Instant messaging, Skype, Messenger, other forms. Facebook, one of the platforms for communication. Web portals. In this sense, I was just trying to show you how do I communicate with my students using Moodle as an open source, or this one here. Just this is a simple directory that has a list enabled. In order to make a such page for putting all my lectures, exams, etc., I need only three clicks in Microsoft Internet Information Services. So 3 clicks and I have a web page where I can put all my stuff regarding the lectures. So in this sense, I have made for all my lectures a folder, and I put everything there. The students have all the read-only access, can access this side, folder, needed material from this side. What are current initiatives and future steps? In fact, European Union has also this concern and has started an initiative called Blue Card, similar to the US citizen, as you know, the Green Card. In Europe, we call it Blue Card. The idea is to attract skilled people, skilled engineers from Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, China to come to Europe. This is a screenshot from the famous Der Standard, the online version. In fact, the Der Standard is a famous, prestigious newspaper in Austria, in Vienna. And this is the older one from 2009, but still they need help regarding the special IT sector. So in Austria, there are 3,000 jobs needed to be covered by IT experts. And this is still going on. What we're doing in the Kosovo, as you might be aware, in 2008, the government took a decision to increase the salaries for those working in the public sector in order to make the public sector more attractive. So those who are working in the IT sector in the government have extra salary in order to make the public sector more competitive with the private sector. There has been an initiative for the project Fiber to the Home, Fiber to the School, that each school should be connected to a fiber and also have at least 1 computer lab consist of 20 computer server in order to have this ICT knowledge at the school. Maybe to conclude, the sector is growing roughly 20 to 20% annually, said the SID in their report in 2007. Based in government, of course, our medium-term expenditure framework 2010-2012, in this sector, in these years, will be invested about 144 million years. My opinion, internet has made our world smaller, but at the same time, we have more opportunities. When I say smaller, usually in Pristina, I see these salesmen say 1 year you can buy everything. But these are more applicable items coming from China, so we need to compete with them also. So our world has been smaller, but we have more opportunities. And in my opinion, our society will be based on education, skills and know-how of modern technology and services. I think that the only way to compete with China and other more cheaper countries is with innovation. And innovation comes with using modern technologies. And for the end, I want to conclude also my presentation with a famous Lao Tzu, the famous Chinese philosopher. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. And I think information technology.
That was excellent. Thank you, Dr. Reza. I want to bring students to a question and answer